Hi, this is Ernest Lee, author of Common Sense 2, The Liberty Pledge. This will be section 4 and the final section of the audio and video. If you have not yet watched sections 1, sections 2, and sections 3, please do so because this alone won't make much sense if you don't. So this is chapter 4. You say you want a revolution. This chapter will be detailed but simple. Not all of you will do all I ask you to do. Some of you will do more. Some will exceed in greater measure than I ever imagined possible. Here is the complicated task I ask you to devote 10 minutes a day doing. Have a conversation with someone. Anyone, but start with people you know or you suspect agree with you. Ask them to sign the Liberty Pledge. Tell them how to find Common Sense 2. Direct them to thelibertypledge.com so they too can spend 10 minutes a day duplicating your efforts. Do you think restoring our constitutional republic to ensure the future for your children and grandchildren is worth this effort? I suggest you print out and keep several copies of the Liberty Pledge handy to use. After you have exhausted your supply of friends and family members, strike up a conversation with a total stranger. I do, every day, with positive results. I realize it sounds simple, but that is the reason the Liberty Pledge will spread rapidly. It is simple to use as a tool. There's more steps. Some of you will go door to door gathering signatures and recruits. Others will set up a table or have clipboards and stand on a street corner or in front of a business or the courthouse. Just be sure you check your local ordinances and or get permission before engaging in those activities. But going to this extent, while welcomed and applauded, is not necessary. Talk to people one-on-one. Some of you belong to civic groups and organizations and can get your entire membership on board. Whatever works for you, big effort or small. Let's call that first paragraph level 1 participation. Okay, you've gotten several signatures on your copy of the Liberty Pledge and have recruited several people doing the same. Now what? Sidebar. Sign every copy you give your recruits. Tell them to do the same. There is no problem if you end up signing hundreds of copies. The more, the merrier, the larger the impact. There are leaders in every state, county, city, township, or community. Are you interested in level 2 participation? Start a Facebook page. Name it The Liberty Pledge, your city, county, etc. And make sure all your recruits know about the page. On your Liberty Pledge Facebook page, post updates on the progress in your city and set a date to gather together all the signed copies of the Liberty Pledge. Get yourself on the agenda of your city council meeting. Go to the meeting, bring all the signed Liberty Pledges with you, and ask the city council to adopt the Liberty Pledge as a resolution of the council and get them all to sign it. Did someone else in your city already create a Facebook page? Great. Contact them and offer to help manage the page. Just because you weren't first doesn't mean you can't participate up to any level you wish, right? Now, are you ready to advance to level 3 participation? You repeat level 2, but this time your target is the county commission. You're on a roll now. Ready for level 4? It's tougher because now your target is the state legislature. Let me suggest that as you become aware of other level 2 and 3 fireballs like yourself in your state, you start trying to cooperate and coordinate your efforts. Don't forget to post your success stories on the main Facebook page, The Liberty Pledge, and sign the online copy of The Liberty Pledge at thelibertypledge.com. If all you ever do is sign the online copy, so be it. But that is lazy, just so you know. This movement can spread like wildfire, and it should. Let me make you several promises. Number 1, I'm not trying to form a large national organization. I'm not your boss. Number 2, I don't want your email address or personal info. Number 3, while I will provide updates and info, you are on your own. You will either participate or you won't. Signatures only on the Liberty Pledge. No addresses, no phone numbers, no personal info. Common Sense II, the Liberty Pledge, was not written for the purpose of making money. It was written to be used as a tool to help set up the overhaul our system of government needs after 230 plus hard years of service. Imagine an engine from a car with 500,000 miles on it. The engine needs to be rebuilt because it isn't running properly any longer. Before you start the project, you need all the necessary tools to disassemble the engine to its block or core. The Liberty Pledge is a tool to assist in setting up the circumstances where we, the people, can fix through our state legislators what the federal government has broken in our system. I know tens of thousands of you or more not only agree the system is broken, you want it fixed before it's too late. I also know tens of thousands of you are willing to participate in getting the problems fixed, but don't know exactly what to do. Common Sense II, the Liberty Pledge, was written to give you something productive you can do that will work. For a detailed explanation of the Article 5 Convention of States process, please go to conventionofstates.com. Mark Levin explains it expertly as well in his book, The Liberty Amendments. Some of you will want to join the Convention of States project after you research them. Others will be happy using the Liberty Pledge in support of the project. Participate at whatever level you are comfortable with, but for the sake of this nation and your children, do something rather than nothing. At the time of this writing, the COS project has been successful in 4 states: Florida, Georgia, Alabama, and Alaska. These listed state legislatures have completed the call for a convention of states. But that doesn't mean you can't use the Liberty Pledge to reinforce and show support in these states. 34 states are necessary for an Article 5 Convention of States to be called. We have lots to do, and it must be done quickly. So get busy. Here's a quote: "Only those who dare to fail greatly can ever achieve greatly." Robert Kennedy. Another quote: "The question isn't who is going to let me, it is who is going to stop me." That's Ayn Rand. Third quote: "Above all, we must realize that no arsenal or no weapon in the arsenals of the world is so formidable as the will and moral courage of free men and women." Ronald Reagan. 2 final quotes in this booklet. You'll hear a change of voice here in a moment. It's the section on About the Author. I just felt it would be weird for me to talk about myself in the third person. Here's the next to the last quote. "Few will have the greatness to bend history itself, but each of us can work to change a small portion of events. It is from numberless diverse acts of courage and belief that human history is shaped. Each time a man stands up for an ideal or acts to improve the lot of others or strikes out against injustice, he sends forth a tiny ripple of hope, and crossing each other from a million different centers of energy and daring, those ripples build a current which can sweep down the mightiest walls of oppression and resistance." That was Robert Kennedy. I will leave you with the final quote. Here it is. "Do or do not. There is no try." That's from Yoda. Thanks for listening, and remember, share this with your friends. The downloads of the Liberty Pledge can be found at the website, thelibertypledge.com. Get busy. We can come together and take back America. Thanks for listening.
Ernest Lee is the father of 5, grandfather of 7. He lists those as his 12 reasons for writing this booklet. In his 60 years, he has owned food establishments, bars, auto dealerships, a weekly newspaper, and a radio station. He has also been a performing musician, taught guitar and voice, hosted karaoke, worked on a farm, herded cows, broken horses, driven everything from hot cars to buses to big trucks to combines to tractors and bulldozers. Ernest has held suit and tie jobs in big corporations and worked wearing t-shirt and jeans. He has lived in the Southeast, Midwest, and Western states. He has traveled the lower 48 states and Alaska in a big rig. For the last 6 years, he has been an over-the-road truck driver. He says, part-time, covering over 3,000 miles per week. He considers his full-time job to be working to restore our constitutional republic. During the 1,000-mile March for Liberty in 2013, he parked his truck and walked from Bartlett, Tennessee to Washington, D.C. because he says somebody needed to do something to start fixing this country. Also in 2013, Ernest participated in the Truckers' Ride for the Constitution and assisted veterans in removing the barricades that surrounded the World War II memorial in D.C. The veterans neatly stacked the return barricades just outside the fence of the White House without violent incident or arrest. Ernest constantly helps inform citizens to the problems in our nation while offering solutions during his travel and through radio broadcast on the World Integrity News Network. Details on broadcast times and how you can be part of the programs can be found on the Facebook pages: The Liberty Pledge, 1,000-Mile March, the Mission Patriot Freedom USA, and Reach Out America Radio Network Alliance. Ernest invites you to like and share these pages. Ernest is available as a speaker for most any gathering of any size. To contact Ernest, use email. His address is ernest@thelibertypledge.com. And a quote from our author: all that is wrong will not and cannot be addressed in this brief writing, but I pray that it is a good start. End quote.